What is going on, guys? It is Darksox here with you today, and welcome to the top 10 Star Wars games. Now I just want to give a real quick shout out to everybody who helped me and voted on this list. I put all the votes together, added them all up, and this is the top 10 list that came out of it. So without further ado, let's get into this. And starting off at number 10, we have Jedi Knight, Jedi Academy. This game was released in 2003. It was also the final game in the Jedi Knight Dark Forces series. And this is definitely a great way to start this video.
I sense a disturbance in the Force.
You always sense a disturbance in the Force. But yeah, I sense it too.
Just from the beginning of the game, when you get to create your own character, your own lightsaber, you jump straight into the Jedi Academy, you see Luke Skywalker and everyone. The game just gets better from there. The missions are fun, the weapons are awesome, it's a great storyline, great characters. Especially if you're a big fan of the expanded universe, it's just a really cool game. Also, the multiplayer experience, just a great multiplayer, really fun. Just overall a great Star Wars game. And at number 9, we have The Old Republic. This game was released in 2011. It was the first Star Wars MMO since Star Wars Galaxies in 2003. And when it comes to Star Wars games, nothing really beats having a great storyline, great characters, a huge expansive world, and just lots to do. But being able to do all of that online with other people and your friends just makes the experience so much more fun.
Goodbye, Lord Crucis, and thank you for the artifact.
When a lot of people say this game is just another MMO, like personally, for someone like me who's never really been a big fan of MMOs, I had a lot of fun playing this game. Just overall as a Star Wars game, going to all the different planets, all the different missions, was just super fun. Playing with my friends and meeting new people, it was just a great Star Wars game overall. And it's free to play, so if you haven't played it yet, I highly recommend you download this game, try it out, you definitely won't regret it. And at number 8, we have Empire at War. This game was released in 2006. This is also one of the very few Star Wars RTS games. This also takes place between Episode 3 and Episode 4.
Couldn't do it without me, huh? If you have a paying job, I have to warn you. My price has doubled.
Now, for anyone who's a big fan of strategy games, or just Star Wars games in general, being able to battle on the ground as well as in space is definitely a really cool aspect about this game. And there's a huge variety of different vehicles, weapons, soldiers, equipment, the stuff that you could use in the game. Just makes the game, more interesting, a lot more fun, because there's a lot more to do. There's a lot of really cool different maps, and it's just cool how the whole system works, how you just control different planets, you get money to buy different things, and it just makes the game more challenging and more fun, and just overall a great Star Wars game. At number 7, we have Jedi Knight 2, Jedi Outcast. This game was released in 2002, and it was the third game in the Jedi Knight Dark Forces series.
Ah, Jedis. I had no ideas. What can I do for you, honored Jedis?
I'm no Jedi. I'm just a guy with a lightsaber and a few questions.
Just battling through all the different levels, playing as Kyle Katarn, and using a wide variety of just weapons and force powers is really what makes this game shine. The storyline is really interesting to get into, and Kyle Katarn is just a really fun character to play as.
You look like nothing more than a bantha herder.
Well, you look like an overgrown Kowakian monkey lizard, so I guess looks don't count for much. Hand her over.
Just overall, the single player experience, as well as the multiplayer, really just make this game a great Star Wars game. And at number 6, we have The Force Unleashed. This game was released in 2008. It was the first game in the 2-part series. And this game was really a pretty big stepping stone in the Star Wars video game realm. Because at the time of this game, there really weren't any other games out there like this. This is one of the first Star Wars games that just brought combat and force powers pretty much to a whole new level.
Dark side is your ally. Rise, my apprentice.
What is your will, my master?
Just the realism of the combat and the force powers, and just how everything you do, you interact with everything and everything moves. It's just amazing how everything all works together. Just the game mechanics and the physics honestly in this game are just amazing. And even just aside from the gameplay, just the story and the characters are just really awesome to get into. And this game is just overall just a really great Star Wars game. And coming in at number 5, we have Republic Commando. This game was released in 2005 and is still to this day regarded as one of the greatest Star Wars first-person shooters ever to be made. Taking place during the Clone Wars era, you play as a group of elite clone troopers known as Delta Squad.
Triticus, let me handle this, sir.
Nice work, 07.
The realistic gameplay and combat really make you feel like you're a part of the game. But the one thing that really makes this game is the characters. Just following your squad around, interacting with them, and just really getting to know the characters and just working together as a team really makes this game feel really realistic and just overall an awesome game. And that's really what makes this game just such a great Star Wars game. At number 4, we have Battlefront 1. This game was released in 2004, and it was the first game in the Battlefront series. Now the cool thing about this game is this was actually one of the first Star Wars games that actually let you choose what side you wanted to play on. You got to play as either the Rebels or the Empire or the Republic or the CIS, which is really, really cool. And also, all those awesome battles that we hear about in the movies, but we don't actually get to see, we actually get to play them in this game, which is really, really cool. And it's just cool, all the different classes that you have all the different weapons and equipment for each class. You choose the one you want, you choose your side, and then you go into the battle. And it's just a lot of fun. And the reason this game really does stand out among Star Wars games is because it's different than most Star Wars games in the fact that, you're not playing as the Jedi or the Sith or, the big main characters from Star Wars. No, you're playing as, the infantry units. You're playing as the clone troopers and the stormtroopers, the ones in the movies that, don't really emphasize a whole lot on. And it just makes for a really great Star Wars game. And at number 3, we have Knights of the Old Republic 2, The Sith Lords. This game was released in 2004, and it is the sequel to one of the greatest selling Star Wars games of all time.
Do you need a hand?
No, I don't. Go back to your training. I'll call you if I need someone useless.
Is there some problem? I was only offering to help.
Problem?
Now, when it comes to Star Wars games, it really doesn't get much better than the Knights of the Republic games. Now, these games were really the first games that just brought the open world role-playing experience into Star Wars games. Because before this, there really weren't any Star Wars RPGs out there. And these games really just brought a whole new level into the Star Wars video game world. And this game in particular, just the level of detail, the size of the game, just everything you can do is just amazing. And it's cool how every decision you make kind of affects the outcome of the game, how the game plays out. Because you have a sense of freedom to choose how you want to play the game and whether or not you want to go for the light side or the dark side. And it's just cool how the whole game works out. This game has a great environment, has a lot of cool worlds, has really likable characters, and the storyline is just really fun to get into.
As a result, I have a responsibility to know your weaknesses should I be required to assassinate you.
Now before I get into the final 2 spots, I just want to start off by saying that it was a very, very close match for these last 2. Out of all the hundreds of votes that I got, there was only a difference of 6 votes for the final 2. So guys, it was a very, very close match. It was almost a tie. One of them did come out on top a little bit more, but I definitely got to say these are both great games and they both definitely deserve to be in the top 2. So without further ado, at the number 2 spot, we have Knights of the Old Republic. This is the original Knights of the Old Republic, the first one. This game was released in 2003 and is still to this day one of the best-selling and most critically acclaimed Star Wars games ever to be made.
Resume the bombardment, Commander. Wipe this pathetic planet from the face of the galaxy.
And like I said before, when it comes to Star Wars games, it really doesn't get much better than Knights of the Republic games. Now both these games individually are really some of the best Star Wars games ever made. But the first one in particular really just stands out above all. Just the vastness of this game and the open world experience of just being able to do what you want to do and go where you want to go. to all these different planets, planets that we've seen from the Star Wars movies, planets that we love, that we actually get to go to in this game. And you really feel like you're a part of this game. And just the characters in general, and the dialogue, interacting with them, and by the end of the game you really feel like you know the characters. You just really feel like you're a part of the game. And there really isn't just one thing that really makes the game, that really makes it stand out. It's just the overall experience, the whole game in general, is really just such a great game. And this game has a great storyline, and also probably one of the greatest plot twists ever in a video game. I'm not going to spoil it for you, but if you played the game, you know exactly what I'm talking about. It's just overall, just everything about the game, the storyline, the characters, the open world experience, it is just a great Star Wars game, and this is definitely one of the greatest Star Wars games ever made. And coming in at the #1 spot by just 6 votes, we have Battlefront II. This game was released in 2005. It is the second game in the Battlefront series, and this is one of the highest rated Star Wars games ever made. Now this game is really everything Battlefront 1 was, but better. You have more maps, more game modes, more weapons and classes to choose from. You can play as heroes and villains, and honestly there's just so much more to do in this game. As far as game modes go, you have your standard conquest where you just go around eliminating enemies, capturing command posts until you eventually win. But you also have capture the flag, assault, and hunt. And it's really cool because you can actually play as like Jawas, Tusken Raiders, Ewoks, Wampas, and it's just really cool. I mean, who doesn't want to play as a Wampa? It's just really cool. And with the addition of being able to play as like Jedis and all that, they also have a heroes and villains mode where you actually get to play as like all these different Star Wars characters, and it's just a lot of fun. And also, the addition of space battles in this game is a very nice touch. And it's cool how you can just like fly your little ship around wherever you want, go and land in the enemy ship, and then just proceed to pretty much destroy their ship from the inside out. And honestly, it's just really cool. The space battles in this game are just awesome. This game also has a really good single-player campaign. You play as part of the 501st Legion, and starts off during the Clone Wars era, and eventually progresses throughout the rise of the Empire. And overall, it's just a really cool campaign. It's a lot of fun. They also have a Galactic Conquest. You go around controlling planets. Every time you get a victory, you get more points. And you can unlock new items, and you just go around controlling all the planets until you eventually get them all. And it's just a lot of fun. But aside from all the single-player modes, the multiplayer in this game is really the icing on the cake. This game really has one of the best multiplayers of any Star Wars game. Just with all the different maps and modes, it's just a lot of fun. Unfortunately, the online play is no longer supported, which is kind of a shame. But there is a third-party application called Game Ranger that does allow you to play this game online. So if you have the game on PC, yes, technically you can still play the game online, which is nice. But anyway, this game just really is an amazing Star Wars game, which is why it has earned the #1 spot on this list. So thank you guys so much for watching. I really hope you enjoyed this video. Thank you to everyone who helped, who was a part of the voting process. I had a lot of fun making this video, and if you enjoyed it, please like, comment, and subscribe. I will see you all in the next video. But until then, please enjoy this short list of honorable mentions.